Good evening, I'm Seth Myers. Welcome to Weekend Update. In today's news, science comes to the forefront with the release of the new Star Wars episode 700. The movie has sparked some controversy as hashtag Sound Wars trended with movie viewers. For example, Glow23 said, hashtag Sound Wars, yo, this is bogus. Princess L can't explode. At least we wouldn't hear it. Some guy said, at Glow23, hashtag Sound Wars, we heard her in the last film. So, can you hear sound in space? Here to comment on that conundrum is famed scientist Bill Nye.
Thank you, Seth. I'm so excited that today's show is about sound. Sound is just tiny movements of air, tiny vibrations of air. The air moves in tiny waves that reach our ears, and then we hear sound.
Really? Because people had some different answers to that.
Can you draw me a picture of what you think sound looks like?
Can
you describe your picture to me, please?
This is a sound wave, and that's the high and the low parts of the sound wave.
My picture is waves of up and down. There's low tones and high tones and low again and very smooth.
The sound acts in waves, bouncing off things and stuff like that.
Can you tell me about your picture?
These are sound waves beginning to be bigger and bigger.
I haven't studied this in quite a while. So Doppler effect is like so sound is frequency, right? Sound waves. Sound just means that closer they are, higher frequency. Is it higher frequency? And then the farther away the sound is coming from, it's a lower frequency.
And why did you draw a music note?
Because sound makes me think of music.
Horses make sound. They sing neigh. Here's the tail.
Okay.
And here's the big body.
Okay.
As you can see, there are indeed different ways in which you can show sound. This demonstrates the complexity and inconsistencies in how we understand sound.
Thanks, Bill. Well, I've got another expert here to weigh in. Take a look and see what others have to say.
So Bryce, what I have right here is I have a mallet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tap on the table, and I'd like you to listen to the sound, okay?
Okay.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what I'd like you to do is put your head down on the table, and I'm going to tap again. Can you tell me the difference in the sound?
The one, when I had my ear on the table, it sounded a little bit more deeper to me and not quite as loud.
Sounded a lot louder when my head was down there.
It was louder.
Much louder with my ear on the table.
I think the time when I have my head on the table it's more like amplified.
When I put my ear on the table, it sounded louder, and when I wasn't on the table, it sounded smaller. It was like more louder.
When my head wasn't on the table, it was a lot quieter. My head was on the table. It was a lot louder.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know about that much about sound.
I was closer to the source of the sound.
Because sound travels faster through the table.
Because sound travels through the wood, I believe.
Maybe because the waves can transfer right from the table to my ear instead of through the air.
So, you are telling me that in a solid, the particles are packed closely together and therefore sound travels quite quickly through the solids? No wonder everyone observed that the sound was louder. Thank you, Steve the Minion. Maybe our next guest can shed some light on this subject. Miss Frizzle, how are you?
Good morning, Seth.
You're a travel expert, right? What do you know about sound travel?
Wahoo! I thought you'd never ask. Let's take a field trip to find out. Today we're looking to find out how sound travels through liquid. Sound waves travel faster and more effectively in liquids than they do in air because the particles are slightly denser. However, sound travels even more effectively in solids than in liquids.
Wahoo!
That was fun!
Let's see what others think about water travel with sound.
Do you think you can hear sound underwater?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
I think it's more of like, not really.
Why do you think that is?
I think the sound waves just stop as soon as they hit the water and they can't travel like it would be able to in open air.
Because you can hear, fish under there or something. You can hear a bubble sound by fish.
Because when I swim, they play music underwater. Sound waves travel through water.
I've heard it before.
I've heard some sounds underwater, like speedboats and boats like that when I was swimming. And I guess I just know that.
I've heard it underneath water before.
What have you heard?
Music or people talking underwater.
Because I went to a hotel with underwater music.
Whales talk.
Looks like they might need to go to more field trips.
Touche. We have one final guest tonight that speaks directly to our tweeters. He specifically studies space. Please welcome Raj from Big Bang Theory.
Thanks for having me, Seth.
So Raj, we have a dilemma about sound in space. Some tweeters beg the question, if you exploded or screamed in space, could anybody hear it?
That's very interesting.
So, Lakin, if you were out in space, like where spaceships are and where the moon is, do you think you'd be able to hear sound out in space?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I want to say yes, but I'm thinking no because the waves don't have anything to bounce off of. Or I want to say yes.
Yes, that they do.
Yes.
You can hear sound in space. So, for example, if you were out...
Actually, no, you can't.
Oh, okay, you can. So why'd you change your mind then?
Because my physics teacher told us that you can't.
And why would that be?
I can't remember.
No, because it's a vacuum.
What does that mean?
That means I don't think sound travels through a vacuum.
I'm thinking that definitely, if it is within the gravitational pull, that there is.
And why do you think that?
Because I don't think there's any air for the sound waves to be able to expand and go anywhere. So I don't think you could hear.
My thinking think.
Your thinking think?
Yeah, I can think.
I think that they have like the rocket sounds and stuff, so I don't know. I guess like in all the movies that I've watched on like space and stuff, you always have the sound.
Because of the movie Gravity. It's a vacuum. Space is supposedly a vacuum, so sound can travel through different types of mediums.
Oh, like in the new Star Wars. That's totally cool, but totally bogus. In space, you would never hear Princess Leia do anything because sound needs a medium to travel through. There is no air in space, it's a vacuum actually, so the sound waves can't travel at all.
So no Princess Leia?
Unfortunately, no.
Alright, thanks for clearing that up, Raj. That's your weekend update. I'm Seth Myers. In this short sound research, we found that people have very different notions about sound, something they experience every day. In the interviews we conducted, however, there were 4 main questions. Number 1 was, what does sound look like? Participants were asked to draw their interpretation. Number 2 was, how does sound travel through a solid? Number 3 was, does sound travel underwater? And number 4 was, does sound travel in space? In order to have a clear understanding of sound, it must be recognized that sound travels by molecules vibrating, and vibration varies through different mediums. No medium equals no sound. Also, from the responses, a few conclusions seem very evident about learning. Prior knowledge and personal experiences play a huge role in the understanding of a topic. Prior knowledge and personal experiences can also lead to misconceptions. For more information about the science of sound, please visit our website at www.understandingsound.weebly.com.